Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Saya Roziya dari Fakulti Pengurusan Maklumat UiTM. Pada hari ini saya mewakili sahabat-sahabat saya, Dr. Ahmad Zaharuddin Sani bin Ahmad Sabri, Dr. Shamshuritawati Sharif dan Rozira untuk present paper kami yang bertajuk Making Malaysia a Harmonious Place, Vernacular School Impending Views on Malaysian Unity. Now, Malaysia, ladies and gentlemen, comprises of multiracial, multireligious, multicultural and multilingual society with comprises of more than 32 million population. Malaysia is not immune from any inter-religious conflict whereby it could interrupt their local social relation and national stability. Now, currently, Malaysian government face a lot of challenges to create religious harmony and peaceful environment among multi-religious adherents. It is very important for Malaysia to manage every inter-religious conflict wisely in order to avoid any of it becoming worse. School and education system is a critical and strategic platform for nation building. And in Malaysia, the issue of monolingualism as a medium of instruction in school has been a contested one with effort of accommodating bilingualism and multilingualism continue to be attempted with no solution in sight. The persistence of vernacular school has generated both intense debates and much resistance. For a multiracial and multiple religious society, Malaysia education system has its own long history and exclusivity. Razak Report 1956 was the first educational reformation strategy introduced by Tun Abdul Razak, who was then the Malaysia Minister of Education. One of the most significant impact derived from this Razak report was the establishment of two types of primary school, namely Sekolah Rendah Kebangsaan (SRK) and Sekolah Rendah Jenis Kebangsaan (SRJK). And in 2013, Malaysia launched the new Malaysia Education Blueprint. And this blueprint's goal is to, one, universally access and full enrollment of all children from preschoolers to upper secondary school by the year 2020 and reduce current urban-rural socioeconomic and gender achievement gaps. At the same time, Bahasa Melayu remains as the official and the primary language of instruction in Malaysian public school. Malaysian school system is structured with four elements. 1. 6 years of compulsory primary education. 2. 3 years of lower secondary education. 3. 2 years of upper secondary. And 4. 2 years of pre-university senior secondary study. Meanwhile, there are several types of primary level. 1 is national school. 2 is ethnic school, focusing on Chinese and Tamil most commonly. 3, private school, which is very much on religious and non-religious base. And finally, 4th, international school. All these type schools follow the Malaysian national curriculum. The curriculum includes study of a first language, that is Bahasa Melayu, Chinese or Tamil, English as a second language, Islamic education compulsory for Muslims, mathematics, science, civic and moral education, local studies, physics education, health education, music, and visual arts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, vernacular school education refers to education conducted in the native language of the main resident community. The vernacular school in Malaysia were created specifically for Malaysian Chinese and Indians, and it helps to promote the language and culture value of this community. Now, in Malaysia, vernacular school system in Malaysia has long been controversial, with issues such as national integration, national unity, and also social harmonious impact. Now, vernacular education has aroused suspicions on the right-wing state's interest in the idea of assimilation, along with fear and apprehension among members of these ethnic minorities. Now, despite of the controversial issues, there is an upward trend in data with the enrollment of Malay students, where it is increasing from 9.15% in 2010 to 15.33% in 2020. And the enrollment of Indian students and students of other races in Malaysia Chinese Vernacular School also increases slightly from 1.67% to 2.7% and 1.02% to 1.67% respectively. Now, nonetheless, until today, debate on abolishing vernacular school in Malaysia are still ongoing. Ladies and gentlemen, Making Malaysia a Harmonious Place, Vernacular School, Impending Views of Malaysian Unity is a study that aims to ascertain the paradigm of how Malaysian youth in the Northern Territory perceive Malaysian school as a medium of creating harmonious society. The objective here is to develop a set of indicators to assess the relationship in the direction of Malaysian youth social harmony level. This is a descriptive analysis study which was used to conduct and to describe the characteristic of respondent of the study variables. Now, this paper, however, focused on analyzing the major demographic data of Malaysian youth, namely their education background and their level of education in connecting to their interpretation of their social harmony setting. Now, in the demographic profile analysis, the descriptive statistic of respondents' demographic have shown that based on ethnicity, majority of respondents is Malay, that is 81%, and the second and the third ethnic are Indians, 8%, and Chinese, 7% respectively. Now, other ethnic constitute the 4% of the total respondent. Now, respondent with vernacular Chinese and Tamil school education background are both at 3% and 2%, and meanwhile, there are religious, private school, and Methodist convent school respondents, which are respectively at 2% for both. Now, with analysis 1, school as place of different races to interact. Now, we do not deny that unity and harmony must be part of our culture, and therefore it must be more opportunity for people to diverse races to meet and forge closer relationship for the sake of our nation future, and school is the best place to start with it. Now, with more than 64% strongly agree that their school is a good place for different races to interact, system education in Malaysia plays an important role in strengthening the relationship among multi-ethnic students. Now, this finding is in line with Sanchez's study in 2012, where they say that understanding of other ethnic only can be attained to continuous interaction among them. So it is mandatory for students to learn how to interact in a diverse environment. Now, we conclude that school should build a society where all Malaysians are one. Now, in analysis 2, school togetherness among races, the main objective of this question is to find out if it's possible to use national school to bring all races together. Now, with more than 80% strongly agree with the statement, our finding is equal according to VEDA 1999, where school is the initial place where individuals from various cultural backgrounds can meet in a formal setting. Now, the key point here is tolerance. One student learns to understand and respect other people, culture, and the misunderstanding between them can be avoided. Finally, issues surrounding vernacular school, which are schools that use language of other than Malay and English as medium, have been a subject of continuous debate. Now, there are strong merits for the abolishment of vernacular school and the benefit it could bring, and this survey shows that more than 23% and 32% agree and strongly agree with the statement that vernacular school promote disharmony. Now, we do not deny that racial disharmony is a serious problem. However, the question is, will abolishing vernacular school solve this problem? With that question, we would like to suggest future research with any more bigger prospect research that could capture school graduate from Malaysia Vernacular school system and to study their impact to the national unity and to prove that vernacular schooling system is not a failure in producing a good citizen and not the factor of national disunity. Now, Malaysia could and will be the most harmonious and united society in the world if the principle of Rukun Negara concerning courtesy and morality were being dutifully observed in every interaction, physically and virtually in social media. Now, the principle of Rukun Negara must always be put into practice in society and passed on from generation to generation. And with that, I thank you.